Okay, with Khadgar, it appears to be working. All right, Khadgar for the win. All right, I'm ready to go. Twiggle opting to cheat has just bypassed everything before the temple, hoping no one will notice. We see you, Twiggle. We see you, and we disapprove of your plan. And going the wrong direction is what you get. Not gonna lie though, if Saturnin beats Twigglefly from the mines when Twiggle is going from the temple, I'm going to laugh a lot. That mummy taking it in the front end and the back end. I don't even know what's going on anymore. One person's on Olmec, one's in the mines! And Batman is really going after that cute brunette. Alright. Are we ready? That was fun. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Spelunky Weekly Showdown. This is the second out of 2 sets of races today. On the one side, we have saturnin55. On the other side, we have twigglefly. You can tell which is which because they're streaming with different shading on their streams. As we enter, I just want to remind everyone, this is a weekly thing. We do it every Friday and Saturday. Sometimes we have commentary, sometimes we don't. Today, we do. You're welcome. Saturn is the first one out of 1-1. Excuse me. These are, of course, low percent races. What that means is neither racer is allowed to pick up anything other than environmental items like pots, rocks, and mines. Arrows. They can pick things up, but not use them for anything. So if they happen to pick up a boomerang, they can put it back down as long as it doesn't do damage to anything, and that is fine. The way these races go is they're trying to get as far as they each can in 15 minutes. If one of them gets to, say, 3-2 and then dies, then 3-2 is the benchmark. If the other person gets to 3-3, then they become the leader. If either of them win, which is beating Olmec, then they win the race. Otherwise, whoever got the furthest wins the race. If they both get to the same point, then there is a sudden death, which we will explain if and when it happens. And me explaining all of that all at once was partly just to avoid talking until the jungle, which they're both at. Saturn thought about taking the black market, chose not to. Probably wise. If it was an early black market, it would have been a good idea, it would have saved some time. But because it was so late, it just would have cost him time and resources, probably better to let that go. Someone angered a god, Kali. You heard the sound of an altar breaking and her being very angry. But it was off screen, so we didn't actually get to see who it was. What we do see is that they're both in 2-3. Twiggle is now actually out of 2-3, entering 2-4. Saturn down to 1 health after taking some unfortunate hits, now also entering 2-4, slightly behind Twiggle. And that monkey can go die in a hole. Both leaving 2-4 at about the same time. They're neck and neck into the ice caves. On my screen, Twiggle went through just a bit earlier, but just a fraction of a second. They really are at the same place at about the same time. Twiggle finding his exit to 3-1 first. For anyone who's not aware for some reason, this is a randomly, procedurally generated game, so they are not getting the same maps, as you may have already noticed. Everything is generated before each level loads based on a seed that only exists for that level. Saturn down on 3-2, unfortunately. A bit of unfortunate generation there. Twiggle making his way into 3-4. At this point, everything Twiggle does sets the new benchmark for this race. Twiggle himself is down to 2 health. Don't know if he's watching Saturn in stream. If he is, then he knows that Saturn is back in the mines and he can take his time a little more, be a little more cautious, go a little more slowly. Excuse me. That mummy taking its sweet time. Twiggle opting to use the mine to get rid of it quickly. I think that's a good choice. Otherwise, he would have had to wait a really long time. Earning a bomb as well for the quick exit to 4-1. Making his way onto 4-2. Down to 3 bombs. Still on 2 health. Getting a Prayers to Kali 4-2 level, which should make this pretty straightforward for him. Prayers to Kali tends to be straight down, more or less. Meanwhile, Saturn is nearing the end of the mines. And remember, if Twiggle dies before defeating Olmec, then Saturn still has a chance to catch up and maybe even pull ahead. So this could still go Saturn's way. Just because he's behind now doesn't mean he always will be. Twiggle reaching the end of 4-3. Now entering Olmec's lair. Ba-ba-ba. You're welcome for that spectacular music beat. Saturn making pretty quick work of the jungle, as Twiggle begins what looks like it will be a safe strats Olmec fight. Saturn getting to take advantage of the old bitey level, a shorter jungle level, of course, from that. I'm hearing myself about 30 seconds in the past right now. Also, fuck that monkey. Safe strats now complete. Twiggle is going to lure Olmec over. This should be pretty straightforward now. Olmec goes down the hole. And as Saturn enters the ice caves for the second time, twigglefly takes round 1. Congratulations, Twiggle! We will, of course, let Saturn finish his run if he so chooses. He chooses not to. And we will take our time to get ready for round 2 of this best-of-3 showdown between Saturn and Twiggle. Alright, so we're gonna get ready for the second race. Twiggle just clearing his shifting walls first. How's everyone feeling out there in Streamland? All having a good time? Alright. Hello, everybody! Welcome to Race 2 of this best of 3 between saturnin55 and twigglefly. Twigglefly won the first round on his very first seed, no less. Saturn went down, unfortunately, in the ice caves the first time around, but hopefully he will have better luck this time. This is a low percent race, which means they are allowed to pick up environmental items like rocks and snowballs and mines and pots. And they're allowed to use those because they are not passive items or weapons, technically. I mean, the mine sort of is, but you know. But they're not allowed to pick up passive items like gloves or boots or jetpack. They're not allowed to pick up weapons like a shotgun or a boomerang and use them. They're allowed to move them out of the way, but can't use them. You only get your starting 4 ropes and bombs, and your starting 4 health. And you use that, and that alone, to beat the game. The rules of this race are simple. Whoever gets the furthest in 15 minutes wins. If one person beats Olmec, that person wins. If both people beat Olmec, the one who did it first wins. If neither person beats Olmec, whoever got the furthest wins. If both people get to the same level, then there is a sudden death round, which we will explain if and when it happens. We now rejoin the commentary in 2-1 for Saturn and 2-2 entrance for twigglefly. Mine's not giving either of them any sort of trouble. Quick bomb use catching Saturn up almost entirely to Twiggle. Twiggle with a bit of a back and forth 2-2. Dead or restless? So no monkeys. Saturn this time taking the black market entrance because it is right at the beginning of 2-2. And Twiggle taking one at the beginning of 2-3. Black market is a known layout. It is straight down and then straight left. Simple L shape. Worst thing that can really happen is you gotta burn a rope because of some bad tiki trap placements. Just like that. But being able to exit a level at the top of it instead of the bottom is a huge time save. They'll have to adjust their strategy when they get to Olmec, because they no longer have as many bombs as they did before. But sometimes that's okay. Twiggle's making his way through the ice caves, entering 3-2. Saturn exiting the jungle at the same time, entering 3-1. He's still 1 full level behind. But some bad level generation for twigglefly could make that difference entirely nullified. We just gotta see how it goes. Some of that unfortunate level generation actually rearing its head exactly as I say that. Twiggle having to wait out a mammoth after having to burn a rope. And just like that, the difference is now just half a level or so. Saturn exiting 3-2, just a few seconds behind Twiggle, at least on my screen. And this is, once again, a pretty close race. But Saturn gets wet-furred. Wet fur for Sat. That's kind of unfortunate, but it was a pretty easy wet fur level, actually. It was not blocked off. He didn't have that much to do about it. Twiggle now entering the temple as Saturn enters July 4th, only 25 days late. We're very sorry about that. Twiggle, unfortunately, having the arrow take priority over the mine. That's going to slow him down on the Olmec fight a little bit. He's going to have to do 3 bomb safe strats instead of doing quick strats or 4 bomb safe strats. And just like I said might happen, they enter 4-2 at the exact same moment. But Twiggle has some difficulty at the start of the level, having to burn another bomb, now down to 2, with 3 health. And Saturn down to a Crocman in 4-2. Just as Twiggle gets out. Twiggle entering 4-3 is now the leader of this round of the race. A basically straight down 4-3, and he's going to be on to Olmec again. Oh, but he's into lava! The bounce at the exit, the arrow lava. What an unfortunate combination! An unfortunate series of events. Lemony Snicket rolling over in his grave, and they are both back to the mines! This is excitement! This is Spelunky! Spelunky, she is a harsh mistress. Welcome back to the mines, which I have somehow avoided commentating until this very moment. Saturn making its way through the exit of 1-3, Twiggle back in 1-2. The benchmark for this round is 4-3. If Saturn gets back to 4-3 and Twiggle doesn't, then we will have a tie. But right now, just like it was at the beginning of this race, this is anyone's game. Saturn, the first into the jungle for the second time. Twiggle, just making his way into 1-4. He's a couple levels behind. But he also has the overall lead for this round, so don't know if he's actually at all upset about being a little behind the second time through. Saturn starting off the Dead or Restless 2-2. Which I like Dead or Restless because it means there are no monkeys. They all turn into vampires. As we all know, vampires are more socially acceptable than monkeys are. But turns out not to matter, because he's dead and back into the mines again. Meanwhile, Twiggle, I think he opted not to go for a black market entrance there. With a dark 2-1 after having to take the long way around on 1-4. And again, a slow dark level, as is often the case. And he is just now entering 2-2, which is Dead or Restless, which went so well for Saturnin. But Twiggle gets out alive! Huzzah! Twiggle with 2 health, I believe still full resources. Saturn entering 1-4 with all full resources. Twiggle actually down a rope. Passing up a perfect shot because this is, of course, low percent. But he is going to go around to avoid the piranhas. And he is down in 2-3 to an exit Boomerang Man. And they're both back at 1-1. I missed how Saturn died, but I'm sure it was bullshit because this is Spelunky, and Spelunky is awesome. Both exiting 1-1 at exactly the same time. And we are again neck and neck. We are nearing the end of the 15 minutes here, I believe. So this might be the last run for both players. At least the last one with a chance to succeed and get through Olmec. I'm so excited about this, I'm stumbling over my words. This is Spelunky, ladies and gentlemen. Again, right now, Twiggle is leading this round, having reached 4-3. Went down to some exit stuff. And that is how we are now here. There are 7 minutes or so left. There is actually time for them each, depending if they die, then how early they die, to get another round in if needed. Twiggle taking his time there to trigger the arrow trap. Probably a good choice. The spikes down there would have possibly caused his death. That turnaround whip on the orange frog, saving him from some damage. They're both in 2-1. Twiggle exiting a little bit ahead of Saturn. But Twiggle also, I believe, with full health. And Twiggle finding the open BM once again at the beginning of 2-2. So he is now entering 2-3 Black Market, straight down, then straight left. As Saturn makes his way through, and the unexpected boomerang aggro, undoubtedly. Twiggle is now going to have a much more difficult run than Saturn, because aggro, as we all know, makes everything better, and nothing ever worse. Random shopkeeper aggro. Twiggle is good enough to get through this, but it will be more difficult than Saturn's run, most likely, and it may slow him down at the exits. We're seeing a lot of old bitey levels in these races today, which is good because it shortens the level, but it's bad because the exit may be on the other side, causing you to have to go the long way. Saturn down at the end of the jungle. He's now starting his last chance. He will have to take this run really quickly if he wants to tie Twiggle. If Saturn goes down again, then Twiggle will take this race because there's not enough time for 2 runs on Saturn's end. Twiggle, of course, still going. If he can beat Olmec, then he will win no matter how far Saturn gets. Unless Saturn beats Olmec first. And having Shopkeeper aggro, that's actually not entirely unlikely. The ledge grab, saving Twiggle on that drop. Had he tried to land on terrain because it was not all on screen, he would have taken damage. Now picking up a mine in 3-3. Looking for the exit. Canceling that jump pad jump. And after not seeing the Shopkeeper die 2 levels in a row, he might actually get de-aggro. We're not entirely sure how that mechanic works. But having multiple Shopkeepers die off-screen seems to be a way to trigger de-aggro. But he doesn't get it this time, and instead he enters 4-1 with a mine, but down a bomb. So he can still do standard safe strats. And now he can't. That Anubis spawn, terrible luck. He's gonna have to bomb through Anubis, or at least whip through him like Kurt did, finding a path around. Congratulations on that, Twiggle. This is a very, very long 4-1, however. And it's possible he'll get a dark 4-2 as a result. Or not! Twiggle is down in 4-1. And that is as far as he is likely to get now in this run. So 4-3, the level to beat or match. We're now watching Saturn's run to see if he can do it before time runs out. He has 1 health, and now he has 0 health. And at this point, I believe there is no longer enough time for either of our racers to reach 4-3 again. But magically, Saturn's in the temple! He's a 4-1, this is incredible! And Anubis, right there! What a jerk! Saturn bombs his way through, uses a rope, evades the lava. He's in a 4-2. This is exciting, folks. Have you ever seen anything this close, this tense, this completely honest in Spelunky? Missing the mummy jump, but getting through anyway. He's down on the wrong side of 4-2. He's going to find the exit over there on the left, toward the middle, and he's into 4-3. He's now tied Twiggle. This is amazing, folks. All he has to do is get through 4-3. And Saturn, in the dying throes of this race, will take the lead and the victory. This is incredible. And there's the exit, but a Crocman telefrags himself into the wall. And Saturn's on 4-3. Ladies and gentlemen, he's on Olmec. The only question now is, will he win? Will he defeat Olmec and claim that, I think it's a gem, above the door? We're watching Olmec, who is not a hamburger because we're watching Saturn stream and not some fake streamer. He's opting for some dying strats. He chose to die on Olmec. That is so unfortunate. But Saturn takes the round! Except he doesn't, because he's a shortcut. But that was fun. So instead, twigglefly taking the race 2-0. Congratulations, twigglefly. Congratulations, Saturn. You played well. Congratulations to Krill for winning the first set. Congratulations, Hectic. You played well in the first set as well. Congratulations to all of our racers. And we hope that you will join us again tomorrow for more Spelunky Weekly Showdown. GG, everyone. Oh, is there more? I guess I'm doing more. Who's up next?